Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Let me take this moment to reintroduce myself. I am the Gothic Rose, hostess of the Dark Entertainment Network. This is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories and makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. I do this because I enjoy it. If you like this type of content, please follow along, because I'm not going to stop. Welcome back, dear fiends of the Den. It is getting exciting. At least to me, we are in the Gilded Age of Hollywood, and today we are exploring one of Hollywood's golden stars of the Gilded Age, the incredible silent film actress, Mary Pickford. So we're back in the Gilded Age, and we're still in the silent film era. So let's talk about one of the most iconic women to grace the Hollywood stage, and that is Mary Pickford. Mary's career spanned 5 decades, and she starred in iconic films like The Poor Little Rich Girl and Pollyanna, and she is a 2-time Academy Award winner. This is for her first sound film, Coquette, in 1929. And then in 1976, she received an Academy Honorary Award. And this award recognized her unique contributions to the film industry and her role in shaping cinema as an artistic medium. How did she do that? Well, not only was she star of silent films and then talkies, she was a very savvy businesswoman, and she was one of the 36 founders of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. But Mary Pickford is not her legal name. She was born Gladys Louise Smith on April 8th, 1892. And she was known as America's sweetheart, but she was born in Toronto, Canada, and she was a trailblazing actress and producer of the silent film era. She was one of the most popular and influential figures in early Hollywood. So she also co-founded United Artists in 1919 alongside Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith, revolutionizing the film industry by giving artists more control over their work. And that was just 4 years after the independent filmmakers won their case against Thomas Edison and the MPPC, also known as the Edison Trust, and dissolved that control of the patent laws over the film industry. So now they're out of the East Coast and they're going towards the West Coast. And Mary Pickford, who did film on the East Coast, is now out on the West Coast, revolutionizing everything like a queen. It is amazing. So let's talk a little bit about the power of Mary Pickford. She was an absolutely transformative figure in the film industry, and she left a legacy that shaped Hollywood as we know it. So she has some key contributions, which of course was pioneering star power. So Mary Pickford was one of the first actors to have her name prominently featured in movie marketing, elevating the concept of the movie star. Talk about a woman that knew her worth. United Artists co-founder in 1919, she co-founded United Artists with Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith. This gave artists unprecedented control over their work and challenged the dominance of major studios. And I did mention that now in the golden era, 1920s to the 1940s, the studios established 7-year contracts until Olivia de Havilland came in and, just squashed that. But Mary Pickford, she had a lot of business acumen, and she negotiated groundbreaking profit-sharing deals and commanded record-breaking salaries, setting a precedent for actors to have more financial and creative control. She advanced the art of acting with her expressive performances in silent films, and she helped establish acting as a respected art form in cinema. And then she showed her support for independent filmmaking as a founder of the Society of Independent Motion Picture Producers. She championed the right of filmmakers to maintain creative freedom. Talk about a woman to step up and make sure all of this happens for everyone. Mary Pickford has her 5-decade career, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. She started off in silent films and moved on to talkies and has over 200 films to her name, but her most notable works are in silent films: The Poor Little Rich Girl, 1917, Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, 1917, Stella Maris, 1918, Daddy Longlegs, 1919, Pollyanna, 1920, Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1921, and Tess of the Storm Country, both the 1914 and 1922 versions. And then her sound films include Coquette, her 1929 Academy Award winning performance, and Secrets in 1933, which is her final film as an actress. So then she went on to work as a producer and was involved in so many other projects. And just her life in filmography was incredible. There is the Mary Pickford Foundation. So this is all about everything that she's done as a producer and actress. It says on the website, Mary Pickford was the driving force behind over 200 films. The following list is our ongoing effort to compile all of Mary Pickford's films, both lost and existing. We will be adding clips from her film as well as screenings featuring live musical accompaniments to some of the titles. So they have a lot of her films here, her feature films, her short films, and her films with video clips. And this website, which I will link in the description, really has all of her movie posters, and you can find out so much about her life. So they're really archiving her image, and they're really helping cement her place in cinematic history, because seems like she worked with Thomas Edison and the MPPC, right? The Edison Trust. And she kind of was smart enough when once they got out to California to take their tricks but turn it into something for artists. So it says about the foundation: when Mary Pickford revised her will in 1971, she liked the idea proposed to her by her longtime trusted financial advisor, Ed Stossenberg, to leave the bulk of her estate to a foundation, and she authorized 3 named directors, including Stossenberg, to form a nonprofit corporation upon her death. When Pickford's estate was probated in 1982, instead of creating a new foundation, the directors activated a long dormant Mary Pickford Foundation, originally formed by Pickford in the 1950s. In 1982, the Mary Pickford Foundation, with assets of only $312, received $8 million from the Pickford estate, most of it coming from the sale of Pickford and the $3 million she reinvested from the sale of United Artists. So she has had quite an extraordinary life, and I am thoroughly impressed to know that a silent film actress whom really history has sort of glossed over in Hollywood at this point was such a strong force. Because I really think that, you can't get anywhere that you want to be without being a strong force. And to know that back in the Gilded Age, in the early 1900s, we had women not only fighting as suffragettes for equal rights and voting rights, but we had women fighting for artists in Hollywood to be free to express themselves artistically. And she helped create movies, cinema as an art form, just with her expressive, silent acting. To me, that is probably one of the greatest gifts that you could have, is to be able to give the vibe, emote the feelings to people by not saying a word. Now, of course, like all other stars, with Mary Pickford elevating herself to, superstar status and money and fame, there also comes the rumors. So she was not immune to any of this. Here are some of the rumors about Mary Pickford's life. These are all alleged. Take it with a grain of salt. But it starts with the Pickford Mansion rumors. So it says her famous Beverly Hills estate, Pickford, which she shared with her husband, Douglas Fairbanks, became the subject of gossip after their divorce. Rumors of hauntings and mysterious occurrences at the mansion surfaced, adding an air of intrigue to its story. And then, of course, there was her personal life as a Hollywood icon. She was often under scrutiny in a microscope, and her relationships, including her Fairbanks marriage, was the subject of a lot of speculation and gossip. And there's also her challenges with fame. And later in life, as her career waned, there were whispers about her struggles with reclusiveness and the pressures of maintaining her America's sweetheart image. So, we're going to dive deeper this week into these controversies of Mary Pickford. And with that, Fiends of the Den, thank you for joining me for this Haunted Hollywood History series that I am enjoying so much. If you are too, please give a like, please subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and have a good one, you guys. Have a good one.